Listen. I spent my whole damn life in the city. Anywhere I go, DC's coming with me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. I could go for broke, but the capital is in me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. Anywhere I go, DC's coming with me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. I could go for broke, but the capital is in me.
KDot, why do we do this podcast?
I mean, I do it because I'm a masochist. I can't necessarily speak for you.
I mean, we talked about it after the pod. It's just a game. We said it. It's just a game. But it is a stupid fucking game. And I don't think we talk about that enough.
Like, the thing is that football is football, right? Where you have these moments of these thoughts. Being a Washington football team fan is a separate sort of misery along these same lines. It even takes it further, right?
Yeah.
And also being a fan of a team that Carson Wentz is starting quarterback also leads you to have these things. I mean, it's just
yeah. So hey,
maybe Taylor Heineke is our own little Nick Foles, huh? That's what I'm thinking.
You think that's why we brought him here? We brought Carson here so that we could have Heineke realize he is our Nick Foles.
This we know it wasn't going to be Jimmy G because I'm angry and the report is bullcrap.
Yeah, and then he steps out of bounds, a la Orlovsky. Anyway, guys, welcome to the show. This is District Divider, DC Sports Podcast. I am Amit. That is KDot. We decided to start it this way just because, like, who cares? Like, honestly, what a shit show of a game. The Commanders lose 24-8 in what some dubbed the Carson Wentz Revenge Game. Philly fans hate the guy. I don't even know what the guy did to them that caused so much hatred. But everyone seems to hate Carson Wentz for whatever reason. He never called it a revenge game. He said it would be great to see some of his old friends. That's literally what he said. Like, the nicest guy on the planet. He's like, it'll be great to see them again. Like, I did a lot for Philly. They did a lot for me. They're out here booing him. We've got a silent count at home. Any number of problems. He gets sacked 9 times. Philadelphia set records for the number of sacks they were getting in the first quarter, second quarter, etc. And it is whack-a-mole with this team, KDot. Last week, we're talking about the defense. This week, it's got to be the offense and the coaching, right?
Everything.
It's always something. It's always something, and we're hitting just about every phase of the game. Of
Tressway looked good.
He's always looked good. He's always looked good. But
Max Milne looked better.
I have a question for you. Yeah, maybe special teams. I have a question for you. Well, we play Dallas. Who knows? Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What was the bigger problem? That the defense gave up the deep ball to Devontae Smith after playing well, or that Ron Rivera didn't challenge that when that was the Eagles' first big play?
There was the challenge. I mean, that's the thing is, like, you still get Devontae Smith a lot of credit for making a play. It was a hard fucking play to make.
Very hard.
He caught. Yeah, that was fucking dope. Like, that wasn't even like even if you defend that well, Devontae's just that's one of those things where God was gonna will that ball to get into his hands some sort of way.
But do you think he actually caught it?
Well, no, he didn't. I mean, but that was because I don't think he didn't get the left foot down.
That's what I was saying.
With control.
Because by the time he got it, right.
Yeah, but it was still an amazing play. My thing is that even if he did get the left foot tapped down, and it was I still don't think the defense was particularly terrible on that. I just think it was a hell of a throw and a hell of an attempt at a catch to where it's just Ron and whoever's got to be upstairs to challenge that need to be Johnny on the spot and throw that fucking flag immediately.
Okay. Yeah, I completely agree.
But you know what else? I give a lot. That's the thing is I give Philadelphia a lot of credit just in that. Because also Jalen Hurts, heads up, get the offense down the field and snap that ball quick.
Yes.
He did a hell of a job with that.
He did a hell of a job. Absolutely. Credit to Philly because, yeah, there are situations like that. But to me, it seems like Ron is just slow, right? I mean, we're talking about, and I mean it from almost every aspect of like, here's the thing. And people brought it up yesterday. They're going to bring it up again and again and again. We're in year 3, right? You see Mike McDaniel, who you love, your boy, Mike McDaniel in Miami, doing wondrous things. down there.
Mm-hmm.
He's beaten Bill Belichick. He's beaten John Harbaugh. And now he's beaten the Buffalo Bills, who some people were ready to pop the champagne bottles as they were going to go 17-0 as they smoked. I mean, absolutely smoked the Rams, smoked the Titans. It looked like they were going to do the same thing until Miami won. So you have them. You have Kevin O'Connell, who a lot of people are really high on, used to be in this building. You've got a guy like Sean McVay, who when he had his very first season with the Rams, spectacular. It seems like we are decades behind. We have no identity. And I just don't understand what the plan is with Ron. Like, what is the identity of this team? What are we supposed to be? Like, could you tell me that? I honestly don't know.
I think people are being a little too harsh on Ron right now.
Okay. I mean, I'm mad. That's the
thing.
After.
It's like I'm not as angry as everybody is after this game. I'm just not. Yeah, there was a lot of shit that just did not look good. But there's also just, if you're looking at the grand scheme of what it is, that it's year 3. 2020, he gets here, cancer diagnosis, fucking COVID. And outside of both those things, you're coming into an organization that is rotten to its fucking core.
Right.
You have to rebuild the entire organization. And every time that there's more stories that come out about the allegations and stuff that happen behind the scenes in Ashburn, from Larry Michael all the way down to Alex Santos, whoever the fuck else, that is what the fuck? And you think about it now compared to what it was in 2020, I don't think anyone has had the idea that the organization behind the scenes in Ashburn is not running better than it did. He did an amazing job with that.
I agree. And I thank him for it.
Got it. But then we also look at 2020 as far as the roster. Dog shit. Dwayne Haskins, who nobody really wanted, rest in peace. Alex Smith coming off the fucking worst injury one of the worst injuries I've ever seen.
We're talking about amputating his leg.
You see what I'm saying? So, and then they string it together at the end and have this defensive run that was like, whoa, Nelly, right? On a team that nobody really expected anything to happen. 2021 comes around last year, and you expect things to move in the right direction, and then the worst possible thing happened. Ryan Fitzpatrick gets lost in week 1, and then the defense, we've talked about it ad nauseum, the injuries, COVID, things like that were just absolutely terrible, right? But then I look at the team now. When's the last time you've been this excited about the offensive weapons in Washington?
Oh, it's been ages.
Maybe Deshaun Pierre-Garçon year 1?
I think I'm even more excited now.
I'm more excited about it now, right?
Yeah.
So you got a new quarterback, offensive line that saw changes happening and injuries out the wazoo already, right?
Yep.
You have
Schweitzer could not snap a fucking ball. Like that was.
And then they were talking about the silent cam, and the silent cam. He was telegraphing. They were telegraphing everything, so the Eagles got the jump on all of it.
Right.
You have Philadelphia bussing down. I think I heard 36 buses full of Eagles fans. Giving them a package to be able to come down to FedEx. Look, I was on the road coming back from New York to DC Sunday morning. The amount of fucking Eagles flags I saw on 95 coming down the highway was insane. And it's only week 3. Like, to me, it's just like, look, Ron is going to rub everybody the wrong way because there's one thing that he does not have, he does not ever show, which is any sense of urgency, right? Which I think a lot of people want. You want that emotional connection, especially coming from the head coach. And even when you're looking at the head coach and the guys that you name, young, excited, energetic, dudes with an idea or a game plan or something exciting that they're bringing and stuff, right? Ron feels very milquetoast.
He does. I think that's it, right? You want the sort of like the
razzle dazzle. You want
coach that like has all these ideas. That it's a wonder kid. Like, yes,
but that's the thing. I get a little bit of that from Scott Turner, even though I have a lot of criticism for in this game.
This ain't the week for it. Yeah, I was going to say this is not the week for it.
But when I saw what he did in the second half of the Lions game, with the weapons, I'm like, if this motherfucker gets it right, this is the exciting guy. This is the guy who maybe steps in. This is the guy who knows? But to me, Ron Rivera and what it is that he was supposed to do for this organization, I give him kudos like a motherfucker where we are now compared to where we were in 2019 at the end of the Jay Gruden era.
Yeah. No, that actually, I'm really glad you said that. I'm really glad we had, I'm not going to say differing opinions, but I'm going to say different perspectives on it, right? Like you look at the big picture, like, hey, look at where we were in 2020. in 2021. And now here, yes, it's frustrating right now, but look at the progress we've made. And I appreciate you doing that for me because I'm living in the right now and I'm going, what the fuck? Right.
Yeah.
We're fresh off of a game where it looked like the coaches took no responsibility. But then the defense did play better. If you're holding Philly to 3 points in their first 3 drives, it's pretty good. And then 10 points and then turnover on downs. The defense did its job as far as I'm concerned.
Jamin Davis has found a role.
Jamin Davis has found a role.
He's 7th in the league in sacks.
Got 2 sacks. I saw Grant Paulson with his tweet saying, hey, it was a bit misleading. I don't give a fuck. A sack's a sack. And if it went for no gain, well, like, who cares? It's a sack. All right. Let the kid who has been through so much already, so much criticism, enjoy a no gain sack. What's the problem with that? Right. Like, so I think we are seeing some positives, and I'm really, really appreciative that you did that for me, because in this moment I was thinking sky's falling. We got Cooper Rush.
It felt
next
like
week.
shit. It emotionally felt like shit. Did you see the pictures of FedEx?
Oh,
it does feel bad. It feels really, really bad. But I don't think you can look at this game and say that it is a grand indication of what it is that we are. Maybe it is, right? But I just don't think that we can draw that much from it right now.
If I could just make a quick point for those like me who feel the sky is falling and are not looking at it at it feels like shit thing. We're right in the thick of it. Like KDot said, it's only been 3 weeks. It's only been 3 weeks. And if we were to look at the NFC standings, 3 teams in the NFC West are 1 and 2. We're 1 and 2. 3 teams in the NFC South, 1 and 2. We're 1 and 2. The NFC North has the Chicago Bears at 2 and 1. Anyone think that's going to last? Probably not. Right. So
Giants are undefeated going into
Giants
game
are undefeated going into this game as we're recording. The Eagles are the only undefeated team there. And frankly, our defense, I thought, did a pretty good job.
Everybody has them in the fucking Super Bowl right now.
Everybody. Right. So we just lost to the Super Bowl favorites, if you will, or the Super Bowl representatives out of the NFC as people are projecting. So we're not as far off as people think. We do get Chase Young back. We do get Brian Robinson back. And Carson Wentz in this offense do get more time together. That being said, KDot, Chase Rouillet may be out for a while.
Yep.
I don't know when Tyler Larson's coming back. We need someone that can snap a ball.
Yep.
We are going to Dallas. And no matter who's at QB, I'm saying Cooper Rush. I highly doubt Dak Prescott's going to be ready for that unless Jerry trots him out there himself and is like, look at this, look at the ratings, and then we kill him. Cooper Rush is going to be a QB, but it's the Dallas crowd that actually worries me, because if we are truly predictable, like now multiple teams are saying, it's going to be hard to win any game. So what do you see as the fix for, let's say, the silent count? Let's say it's true that we were tipping our hand the whole time. Like, that's got to be fixable, right? Like, there's got to be a different way to snap the damn ball.
Yeah, but yeah, there are definitely things that, but if I'm looking at, all right, the silent count is one thing, but 7-step drop backs with Carson Wentz holding on the ball 15 seconds.
Yeah, some of those sacks are on him. I agree. At least half of the sacks. And half the sacks, remember, we're talking 4.5 fucking sacks. That's a lot of sacks. Okay. If that was a regular game, we'd say, what the fuck are you doing, Carson? Which goes into, like, my takeaways from this is that everybody needs to look themselves in the mirror and say, we fucked up on offense and to do something better. Scott Turner did nothing that I asked of him from what he did in the second half for the Detroit Lions going into this game. What did I talk about? Getting guys in the flat, getting the ball out in everybody's hands immediately. And why are we dropping back for a 7-step drop? What? Yeah, we didn't get Terry in space at all.
Ron even kind of alluded to it. It's like, we don't know what we are on offense just yet, but I want to make sure we get distribution, and it's not always on the wide receivers.
The fucking head coach is saying we don't even know what we're doing.
But what he said was that he didn't want to put too much on the wide receivers. It's like, no, that's your A team. That's what you gotta do. You put it on them. Get the ball in their fucking hands, man. We're deep there. It's the only place we're deep.
I do want to say Antonio Gibson in the first half, because you see his final stat line, 12 carries, 38 yards. You go 3.2 yards per carry. Oh, man, not very good. You know what it was in the first half? 6 carries. Not a whole lot. 35 yards. The guy was running pretty well.
I still his tap dance in the fucking at the line of scrimmage.
I thought he did less of that this week.
No, he was doing the same amount of it. He was doing the same amount of it. They were just
Well, then how great is it going to be when Brian Robinson's back?
Thank you. So like I can't wait for that. Also, JD McKissick, man. I'm sorry you didn't sign with Buffalo, brother.
I know.
I am so sorry.
Ridge, where your helmet at? We're in a group thread in our fantasy chat, and he literally was like, "Man, I could not believe JD chose this over Buffalo."
Do that?
Same
like,
deal.
Props, brother, but it's like, damn, you fucked that up.
We got to buid a statue of that guy.
I just want to see. Can we trade in Buffalo for nothing? just to do right by him. It's not even if we win a bunch of games. It's just he does not look like he's going to be a part of this offense.
Did you see Ken Dorsey with those tablets?
Oh, it was great.
Oh, phenomenal.
It still makes me feel so old that he's in a fucking booth. I remember him playing in college.
I know. Like, I also just love that the Bills call him psychotic, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I'd say that," but it's like quite clear he is.
Your MVP awesome. Dude that covers up the camera when he did, because it probably got a lot more ugly.
Literally, just like some people were like, "Yeah, darn, fuck," like next week, and he's like, "No, mother, fuck," like.
See, here's the thing: if Ron Rivera had that kind of moment, we'd love that shit.
We'd love him. We would be like, "Oh, forgivable game. He cares. We're on to the next one." People love when people show emotion.
There's a lot of that. What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know. This is we're as the Commanders were on Sunday. It's fine. We should be allowed to, because if they're doing that on a goddamn Sunday, then we could do this whatever we want.
Hey, as far as everybody looking at themselves in the mirror, there's Scott Turner, who I thought did a dog shit time in this game. Yeah. And I still think there might be something to, you might need to go back upstairs in the booth. I really do think some offensive coordinators just work better that way. When they have some other guys around them, they can talk about things and maybe make the adjustments quicker than maybe him going into the locker room at halftime and then trying to make adjustments, even though it didn't fucking matter in this game. Although we did start moving the ball at least a bit, but there was Scott, you got to figure some shit out. You have the weapons there, and I know you could scheme up some stuff. It just wasn't happening. Number 2 person, as far as looking at themselves in the mirror, is Carson Wentz, who I'm actually, and I don't know if anybody really good through this narrative. I had a really weird day, so I've been kind of out of it. But the article that got dropped as far as the Jimmy G thing right before the game, Carson Wentz is a guy that is strike to me, as you said earlier, is a really nice guy. At least he's a guy that I think really wants to be liked. And yet I don't think he comes off as likable, which is weird to people.
I want to hone in on that. What's everyone's problem?
I don't know. But even like when you see the photo, when the photo comes out of like Carson in the terrible suit with our colors or whatever, that constantly get looked with terrible shadows and the lighting or whatever that was on his face.
Yeah.
It's just like, ugh. There's like, but I don't know. He doesn't come across as like fake like Russell Wilson does in things. And I don't know how fake Russell Wilson is, but he just comes across as fake.
He's pretty fake, dude.
He's
like,
not,
a lot of people hate him for that reason.
He's not cornball brotherhood like RG3. Even though RG3 has been killing it online.
I don't feel
recently.
Qualified to comment on that. Please continue.
Fair enough. What he did, never mind. I like RG3. The I don't know. Carson just gives this vibe, and I think coming out of Philadelphia, when you heard the stories about how he wasn't rooting for Nick Foles, even though when you hear about what happened in the locker room with that, it's more about, I think people just didn't understand his humor. So I just think that he's just a socially awkward guy. And when that is the case of him being socially awkward, I think it just rubs people the wrong way. They want somebody more charismatic or maybe more quiet and stoic at the quarterback position while he's like trying to be liked. And I think that him hearing that news after being told by everyone in Washington how you are a number 1 choice, the guy that we really wanted, this, that, and the other, there's a part of me that makes me feel like he was afraid to make the mistake this week. He was afraid to push the ball down the field. So there was this like, look, I don't care what happens. My stat line's not going to be 4 interceptions this game.
Right.
And he's looking for shit.
I just wanted to, so that's an interesting point because I think it was highlighted a few times that he had the underneath available and it looked like he was looking over the top. And that's where, pat on the back to us. How about it? We talked about the Philly secondary being really good.
Mm-hmm.
right? With Slay, who I think got hurt and dinged up in the game, but still have Avonte Maddox, still have CJ Gardner-Johnson, still have Marcus Epps. Excuse me, they've got guys. So maybe we do need to take the underneath just a little bit more, right? Even if it is Dax Milne, even if it's
I'm
not
all about the underneath.
So am I. We've talked about it. That's the adjustment that I think needs to be made is, hey, if it's not there, I'm highly qualified to talk about this, obviously. If it's not there, just throw it underneath. Like, you have 1 second, maybe 2 to look at it. And if it's not there, check down. Simple.
Throw it away sometimes too, but
or throw it away sometimes. Yeah, because he fumbled.
There was some. He was just throw the fucking ball away.
I felt bad for him, because the defense again did a really good job and kept him in situations where he could have made a play, but it just
28 points.
No, ultimately it was, but if you what do you think
they were
the
tired.
odds were? Yeah. What do you think the odds were that the Eagles were actually punting in their first 2 possessions?
No, it was insane. Like that was
what I mean.
We were in it, and then the explosion in the second quarter
early on. And we were talking about how our offense was going to do pretty well.
Right, and this is the thing is like the offensive game plan that I thought and we talked about in the preview show just didn't happen. And I just look at Scott Turner. I'm like, all right, I'm not an NFL coach. I've never coached a football game. I barely call plays correctly in Madden, but there's a vibe that you kind of get with looking at this offense, or at least seeing where we had the success, and it feels like we're never repeating the things that bring us success. It's like, okay, this week we talked about potentially establishing a run this game, but it was like, we're going to make it a point to run the football between the tackles this game. And it's like, motherfucker, it ain't working. Like, can we adjust to something else? Like, there's just like, what's happening? And like, we see success when we're moving the ball a certain way. Terry McLaurin not getting the fucking target. And then when he finally gets target, he's immediately over 100 yards.
I know.
It's like, hello, what? Like, get the ball in the hands of the playmakers, like, and do it quickly. I don't, that to me is not it's not a hard concept.
It made me miss the wide receiver screens to Rod Gardner. I was like, you know how effective that play would be today? Like, if we just ran that 20 times, because we did. Oh my God, did we run that play?
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's a throwback.
Yeah, just
not good.
That game had me going flashback.
He's got a good social media presence too.
Does he?
Right? Yeah, him and his wife are like big fitness people.
Right on.
Yeah, he's dope as shit. He's a dope follower. They're funny.
Okay, cool.
He's so fucking cock swole, Jesus. Just whoa. Fucking steroids. I'm joking, Rod. Actually, he would be a very interesting guest on the show.
Yeah. Hey, put the shovel away. Please keep talking.
Look, man. So, like, offensively, this is one of those look yourselves in the mirror, because I don't think there is not a person on the planet that thought our offense was going to look that way, especially after what we see in the Jacksonville game, what we see in the Detroit game. We've not seen consistency. We've not seen them be able to do it over the course of a game. But it's also, when you're looking at the offense and the way it's been running, other than this one game, well, no, even with this one game, I see vastly different per quarter to a certain degree as far as what we're doing on offense. And to me, it's like, if you're not sticking with something that's bringing you success, that's how you create an identity, Ron, Scott. that's how you figure out who you are. Oh, I'm good at this thing. I should do it more often. And that's how you become unpredictable, because then if you go away from that thing occasionally, people aren't expecting it. But that's my thing, is like, we know the weapons are the stars on this team. Just get the ball in their hands and get it quick.
I do maintain, and it's a lot of pressure to put on the kid, but fortunately we're a highly unprofessional podcast. I maintain our identity is Brian Robinson Jr. I really do. I think the moment he comes back and is able to run the way he does, because even in preseason, we saw moments where, like, hey, the line didn't block very well for him, and he still found ways to get, 3-4 yards at a time. And you hear Doc Walker just like, he's having an orgasm in the booth. Like, he's like, this is what we do. This is like, he almost said Redskins a few times. Like, he's like, I'm not allowed to do that. I shouldn't be doing that. Like, he was like, this is what we do. And I do believe that Brian Robinson is going to make such an impact. And it's insane. We're talking about a rookie running back. But I genuinely believe it's going to calm the whole thing down and establish a rhythm. Go ahead.
Temper
you
my
can shit on me now.
quite
you can shit
bit.
on me now.
Like,
Listen,
yeah.
I'm high on the kid.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to temper my expectations quite a bit. He's a rookie. What round was he drafted into?
Third.
Okay. So third round running back that just got shot. I'm going to temper my expectations.
And he looks great.
Yeah,
okay. I wasn't going to bring it up, but now that you did, he got shot and he looks spectacular.
Bro, I'm rooting for him, and I do think he's actually going to make a difference on the offense. But I'm not saying. And look, maybe here's the thing: you might maybe it's spin on my part, but maybe there is a certain element of
these thoughts are brought to you by Miller Lite. Please continue.
We're going to continue.
I'm in a fucking mood. Go ahead.
We're going to continue to run the football because when Brian comes back, we need that to be something on the offense. Get the offensive line ready for it. Get everybody ready for it. That it's not something we just automatically do. It's hey, no, we're going to be a run first team. This is what we're not a run first team. The discrepancy could be passing runs very much, but we're it's something we're going to do. So let's guys continue to be used to it. And when Robinson gets there, we'll do more. Even John, I forgot Jonathan Williams was on the team. Those fun game.
Yeah, a couple nice carries.
Yeah, but that's I mean, look, I think we can get this figured out.
One more shout out to Deron Payne, who once again, to me, had a good game. And that is 3 in a row now. I know we were talking about John Allen and how good he's been. I know he's dealing with the groin and stuff like that. But in the meanwhile, Deron Payne's been good. And shout out Jamin Davis, dude. 2 sacks.
Pay the man.
We have to pay the man.
Pay the man.
Especially because now, having gotten rid of Tim Settle, Matt Ioannidis, etc., and Big Phil Mathis, who off to a good start and then got hurt out for the season, we unfortunately did not get enough time to evaluate him. We are getting time to evaluate Deron Payne, who's playing almost every snap and is relentless. So, yeah, I think we're at the point where maybe we weren't going to pay the man. Now we have to pay the man because he is so important to what we do. And if we're one of those teams that just goes, screw it, we're paying 4 first-round D linemen, fuck it. At least we have an identity. We're talking about identity. That's an identity. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have those 4. We're going to have a running game. We're going to have Carson or whomever it may be a QB, but we know that front 4 is our identity. I'm cool with it. I just want an identity.
Push the clock a little bit before we got to pay dots. That's it.
That's a good point too. That is a good point.
It's a 4-year countdown, right? Let's pay the defensive lineman now until Dots' contract comes.
Hey, the identity only needs to last like 2-3 years.
No, that's fair because Terry be on his way out because John. That'll be the conversation we're having 4 years from now.
Go ahead.
Oh no, if you got something.
I was just going to ask you. So one more important thing. By the way, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the little like subtext or whatever for topics. I have no idea how this went, where it went, whatever. Just enjoy. I hope you guys are enjoying this. My question to you is: so Carson Wentz had a rough game. Obviously, he had a very, very rough day. We talked about through the first 2 games that he had sort of given himself a longer leash, right? And then he has a game like that. Has your confidence in Carson wavered at all because of this game?
Yeah, a little bit. And that's more about if I follow my narrative that I'm having about the Jimmy G story and what it is I think he was trying to prove in this game is if there's one thing I want my quarterback to have more than any other thing is the selective memory of a goldfish. It's a selective memory in the sense you got to learn from your mistakes. You got to learn to do better, but I need shit not to bother you. I need you to be selective about your emotions in the moment. I need you to just go out there and figure it out. And it just felt as though, man, I got to make a play. Then the play happens. Come on. Get open. Oh, shit. I'm getting tackled now. And also that I can't make a mistake. During that entire period too, right? So like, to me, it felt like you had a quarterback that was thinking entirely too much. When he dropped back. I see an offense core. So that to me was that was a little alarming, but does it change what I think that he should be absolutely the unquestionable starter the rest of the season? Yeah, no, I'm 100%. Carson.
Yeah, he's 100% the starter moving the rest of the way. I mean, again, for me, it didn't do enough to wane my support in Carson Wentz. I think it was, you sort of know, like we talked about it when we traded for him. We talked about it, very early on. We were like, sometimes Carson Wentz is going to have a Carson Wentz game. That was one of them. There's a reason he's not like this elite quarterback, and that's okay. It's who he is, and it's important that we as fans also accept that, hey, that's going to happen now and then. And really the template here is, if we have a good defense, if we have a good running game, and he gets hot, because he's capable of getting hot at the right time, right? You can absolutely win a Super Bowl with this guy, in my opinion. You just get hot at the right time. And he's one of those that can. He's not one of those that is a Rodgers, a Brady, I don't know, Mahomes, Allen. He's not going to be one of those. Herbert. There are a lot of them. Turns out there are a lot of them. But he's going to, we just keep going. We're like, actually, is he like the 28th best QB?
Maybe Tua. Who else?
Hey, Tua. Let's talk about Tua. No, I mean, the Dolphins are in a real feel-good phase right now. I think the most surprising thing, funnily enough, in a revenge game for Carson was he didn't throw any picks. Because he held it so many times. I was thinking, hey, if you really want revenge, you're going to unleash that into double coverage. And he never really did. Maybe a little bit at the end, but overall.
No, that's the one deep ball that he threw out of bounds. The fuck was that?
Yeah, he's playing it safe. That's progress.
No, he was trying to hit, dude. It was just the ball. The way that ball came out was.
You were watching therapy live.
What are you doing? Maybe. Very much maybe.
Yeah. Do we have a fictitious name for the therapist?
I'd like to think Nick Foles is the therapist.
No, he's calling Nick every game.
I like to think that it's like its own form of therapy. That alone.
Okay, so only people that have watched this episode in its entirety are going to get that, because moving forward, he's Nick the therapist. And anytime Carson talks to anybody, we're going to be like, I guess he had a really good chat with Nick the therapist this week.
The therapist.
And no one else is going to get that except the people that stayed for this.
That'd be great. That's really great.
Any final thoughts before we move on to the comment mailbag?
Bad loss, but once again, Philadelphia looks as though it's very early still. Week 3, a lot can change. Yeah. There's a lot of parity happening right now in the NFL. Don't overly panic, even though I'll admit it did look bad.
Yeah, I overly panicked, and KDot helped me out with that. Thank you, KDot.
You're welcome. Yeah. I've been seeing Dr. Nick.
Yeah, hey, Nick the therapist, what a guy. Now on to the comment mailbag, which will probably be the only topic we identify here. Johnny Otto. That's a few times in a row now. Shout out, Johnny. Really appreciate it, Johnny. Johnny's comment reads, not to jinx it, but if Wentz turns out to be a legit starting QB, then Washington has a great chance to make a second half of the season push for the playoffs. I think he's right about that. Go dark, Regan. All right. Thank you very much, Johnny. I think he's right about that, though. Right? If you really like that.
Hey, let's go, Brandon, right? Brilliant.
But he's not wrong, right? The second half of the season, if we're able to catch a rhythm, then yeah, absolutely we can make a push. We just mentioned the standings. There's all to play for still. Yes, it sucked. That was an awful game, but all to play for, right, KDot?
Indianapolis, Minnesota, Philly, Houston, Atlanta, New York, San Francisco, Cleveland, Dallas. That's doable. A lot of meh.
Yeah, very.
And we're meh. But that's anything can happen when two meh teams get there.
Right, exactly. Oh, we know, because the only time we ever make the playoffs is if we go on a late season run. Literally the last 5 times we've made it has just been a Todd Collins run.
Then let's also think about this. We beat the Jacksonville Jaguars,
who look spectacular.
Who beat the shit out of Indianapolis, shut them out.
Nothing.
And then Chargers 38-10.
Are we? And the Lions, by the way, barely lost to Minnesota. And that's all I got. But man, that's cool.
That's the thing is we actually look at it right now, and you look at the way that the teams play. We still got Green Bay. That's not Green Bay's but even them against Tampa Bay and those teams were just fucking injured the shit.
Yeah.
But I look at that, I'm like, do we look at this at the end of the season and say the strongest part of the schedule might have been the beginning of the fucking schedule where we all thought
doable.
Where we all thought it was the holy shit. This was going to be easy. And it's no, we look back and Jacksonville makes a run. Detroit's in every fucking game,
Right.
and Philadelphia ends up in the Super Bowl. We just went through our murderer's row.
Oh, listen. Now I'm
At least
getting excited. Johnny, thank you for the comment, and thank you for giving me so much hope now. This is what a comment. Next one, Tony. Shout out, Tony. Tony, we love you, bud. Still burping from the Miller Lite. Okay, it reads, we're going to beat the Eagles and shock the world. Good news is we do play them again. Could be in reference to that game. Sunday, we find our nuts. That one a little harder to explain. I don't think we did. Also, love the After the Pod segment. Much appreciated, Tony. There is another After the Pod segment coming up. We obviously are going to go ahead and love that comment. Thank you, Tony. We love yours too,
love
Johnny.
it. Like, we love him for doing it. I don't know if I love that comment. I love him.
Why don't you love that comment?
Because of how inaccurate it was.
No, it's super positive. What's wrong with that?
Okay.
Also, hold on. We still could shock the world to beat the Eagles. He could still be right.
So November 14th, the Monday night game
In Philly.
Yep.
And that's why Tony's
that?
Tony. That's why Tony's Tony. He's able to see ahead and get that right. Tony, I'm going to circle that on my calendar. We love you, bud. Thank you. We're going to move on to Blood Clot, who now has also commented quite regularly too. Love you, Blood Clot. And Blood Clot. We do love you, though. And we love you, Johnny, just to be clear. My favorite line from that Bears fan video, which we talked about last week after the pod, was when his girlfriend said, "Why do you have wristbands on? Do you think they're going to put you in?" That was actually a really good line from that video. I do remember laughing at that and feeling bad because the dude was actually in tears after the Bears lost. And I was like, man, actually kind of feel that one.
Temper your fandoms, people. Temper your fandoms.
Wait a minute. Did I miss this? Oh, no. There's one more. There's one more comment.
No.
Going Commando. Shout out Going Commando. Long-time watcher. So he's in the shadows. Okay. And first-time commenter here.
Long time, Mike.
There you go. One has to wonder how these last two games would have gone with a healthy B-Rob, Chase, Curl, and Turner. It's a good point. We haven't seen Cole Turner yet. Chase is a huge part of that defensive hype machine we are lacking right now. And Brian Robinson in short yardage situations. Both good points. AG, Antonio Gibson, is too weak a runner and goes down after first contact. Turner would help us have another red zone threat. Keep doing what you do, guys. One of the best out there. Oh. Shout out Going Commando. Really appreciate that, bud.
Love, bud.
Yeah.
Man, he's on the B-Rob train with you. B-Rob coming back, everything gonna change.
As he fucking should be. Yeah. No, second comment over there. We're going to be great when B-Rob comes back. Oh my gosh. Trust me. These After the Pod segments are going to be very, very fun. I said after the pod. Day after. What are we calling these?
I just call it the aftermath. That's what I've been doing on the cover.
True. Yeah. We'll just start calling them the aftermath. That makes
the
aftermath sense. Seeing as you already did. I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, I've just been throwing stuff up.
Okay, this is some heavy After the Pod energy and has been the whole time. This is District Divider, to DC Sports Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I am Amit. That is KDot. The game sucked, but we're awesome, and so are you guys. We will catch you this Friday, 2 p.m., where we preview. It's Dallas week. The game against the Dallas Cowboys. Is it a must-win already? Find out on Friday. See you later.
Micah Parsons.
All right, let's talk. It's officially after the pod. I can officially cut loose. You know what? Here's what's going to happen. You wanted to talk about your dream that you were telling me before the pod.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to grab another beer.
Okay.
And I'm just going to let you have it. And then I'm going to guess what your dream was. All right?
All right. That works. I don't know if he's keeping. Are you keeping this part in?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Was that supposed to entertain them as you were doing it? Are you leaving that part in?
Sorry, go ahead.
Or are you leaving that part in?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right, just making sure. I didn't know if I was supposed to entertain it or not, so it was like this awkward moment
edit.
between me and the fans.
We don't edit the videos.
All right, sorry guys, you guys saw me in my vulnerable. I didn't know what to do stage. So.
Wait, what happened?
I didn't do anything.
You didn't talk?
No,
You just let it go?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was supposed to do.
That's honestly kind of genius. All right, go ahead. Talk about the dream.
Are you supposed to guess the dream? What's happening?
Well, I was okay. So I was gonna guess the dream, but I thought you were gonna tell the viewers. Wow, we're really leaving that in. You were gonna tell the viewers what the dream was, and I was gonna.
Oh, and then you were gonna
tell you while I was getting beer.
See,
So
no,
you
I
just
just
let that sit.
misunderstood. I just let it sit.
Okay,
They
well,
see
hey,
me like
listen.
holding up my bottle, looking for more liquid to drink, and that didn't happen. And scroll through my iPad a little
Did you
bit.
hear me yell? Can you hear me?
Yeah, at the end,
Was it loud or was it pretty soft?
that was pretty soft.
That's amazing. I love this mic.
It's good, Mike. It's good.
Yeah, it is a good mic. All right, tell us about the dream, KDot.
All right. So as I was telling you before the podcast, we're going through a little relationship issue right now. But what has happened over the course? So today, after I drove to and from New York yesterday, slept 30 minutes, and then I kind of like crashed.
Not while driving.
Not while
It
driving.
also didn't crash while driving.
Also didn't crash. I was chewing caffeine pills. Entire way. And it was there. I didn't get the right caffeine pills. I didn't want the extended release bullshit. So I was chewing on gel caps as I'm driving down the New Jersey Turnpike. The worst thing ever. Oh God, it was so bad. But so like barely any sleep, had the relationship issues, some drama last night. So today comes in and I'm like in and out of these weird dreams, but they're extremely real feeling, right? And I had one dream in particular, which I know subconsciously has to do with a lot of stuff that was kind of happening in my life, but the main figure in the dream is just the weirdest thing fucking ever to me. So the way the dream works out is that it was my wedding day in this dream. Now, the venue was absolutely incredible. Apparently, it was somebody's house that I knew of. I'm not quite sure who, but it was like I know that I'm familiar with whoever's house it was. I think it was like some dream crazy version of my brother's house, or his old house, his mansion that he used to have. He had one of those fucking McMansions in Montgomery County or whatever, with a giant swimming pool and all that bullshit. Yeah, no fucking character at all that house. Just, oh, I've got money. Yeah. So massive fucking house. And
I'm just imagining that. Sorry.
massive fucking house. And I mean, the wedding guest list is impressive. I mean, I'm seeing people from high school that I didn't even fucking like. Like, I just don't know how
And this
long.
is your dream.
This is my dream wedding. But the thing is, everybody's in a good vibe. So I'm loving everybody I'm seeing. I'm seeing like old coworkers.
It's your wedding day.
It was fucking incredible. And I'm like, yo, I am so stoked. I'm looking at my suit. I'm having some issue in the dream. My shirt, because I'm a bigger guy, my shirt keeps coming up out of my pants. So there's constantly a struggle to keep my shirt in my pants. So I'm looking presentable for photos. And it just felt. Then I realized my wife, my fiance, my bride to be, is not my girlfriend. It's Hollywood actress Rachel McAdams.
Subconscious KDot has good choice.
Hey, whoa! I've not thought about Rachel McAdams in quite some time. Okay?
Sounds like you have, buddy.
Maybe subconsciously. I don't know. The last thing I remember seeing was True Detective season 2. I've not kept up with Rachel McAdams. But,
Sounds like you have.
But the thing is, in this dream, I'm in pure, absolute. I can feel it in my bones. Love
With Rachel McAdams.
with Rachel McFucking Adams. Like, we're doing this old, like, they're trying to keep me away from her because I'm not supposed to see the bride in her dress. This, that. It's like, okay. But then I accidentally see her and she's not wearing white. She's wearing like a floor. It's just, it's to my core. It's like, I want to tear up because of how beautiful the fucking day was. It was amazing.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. I remember every detail too.
Oh, okay, cool. So you'll be able to answer this. When you saw the bride for the first time, did you know it was Rachel, or were you like, "Holy shit, it's Rachel McAdams"?
I knew it was Rachel, but
I
I
knew
remember
it was Rachel subconsciously.
we're walking down a hall. I'm walking down a hall. She comes in from the right, and that's why it was an accident. They mistimed us walking down this hall.
Was I in the dream?
I think you were, but I think like the other guys from the old.
I just want to know when I make the cut. It's.
But I think it was you and like I think I remember seeing LC. I cannot vouch for seeing
Shout out
Matt Regan, but I
LC.
do think I saw LC.
Why would you see Regan?
Yeah, I mean, it was not in a German party. Beyond that, a German themed wedding. I don't know how to do that.
Back and we're back. Yeah.
So it's like the camera and everything. And I could have. Everything happened in real time. Like, I didn't smoke weed before I fell asleep. So I don't know why it's just, but we got married and I was so happy. And the reception, my best friend, Sarah, who lives in South Carolina, she ran a food truck that was there for cocktail hour. And there were like sandwiches and everybody was really happy. And it was just this great time. And then I woke up. It was like me and Rachel McAdams left and there was water and we went and like talked away from everybody. Like just kind of decompressing on the day.
That's
and
wonderful.
I'm like, I'm gazing in her eyes and I'm like, dude, I love my life. And I woke up. And I'm looking around my room and I'm really confused for like 5 seconds. I'm really super confused. Where's my wife? This isn't my house. And then
where'd everybody go? Yeah.
And I keep thinking, I'm like, do I think I'm married to Rachel McAdams? What the fuck? What?
Dude, dreams are fucking powerful.
Yeah,
anyway,
but I took a look at I took a look at myself as I'm laying down without a shirt on. I see my man tits, my boxers that got the holes in the elastic bottom, and there's a Burger King cup on a table, and I'm looking. I got my PlayStation on. I'm just like, yeah, that didn't happen, and I got really sad.
Oh. Sorry. Did Devin console you?
I haven't
After
seen
you
her.
told her about the dream. Okay.
We haven't talked. Once again, subconsciously, I'm having a relationship issue right now. If she found out about the dream, the relationship probably over. But she doesn't watch my podcast.
It's a good thing she doesn't watch it, right?
Yeah, because she doesn't support me.
Say. This would be the one time though, right? She's like, you know what? I'm missing Kate. I'm missing Kate. Oh fuck!
That would suck.
Do I need to edit this?
No, fuck no. I knew this, knowing the ramification of it. Look, if
you signed the waiver.
If people watch this, I'm getting Rachel McAdams jokes for the rest of my fucking life.
Dude, what if you actually got Rachel McAdams off of this episode? She's like, oh my god, no one's dreamt of me at their wedding day in a really long time.
Then I'm sorry, bud. I can't do this pod anymore because I've become her slave.
More power to you. Hey,
Ooh,
well, maybe a touch less.
Can't
power
say
to
that because all right. So I was thinking slave in more of a sexual context. Slave being I'm black and she's a white woman. That's not what I want to
think of it that way. That's a good point.
I immediately thought of it as soon as I said that, and I was like, that's not the vibe I'm giving. No.
Yeah, that's tough. We always get to this point in the after the pod segment where we really should cut it off, and we just continue.
All right, we can stop.
You think this is time?
I mean, yeah.
I think it's probably time. You just said you'd be Rachel McAdams' slave. So, all right.
Sex slave.
Friday.